Jett is human. Kinda. First moto, he was definitely human. Second moto, him and Sexton both were not human. What'd you guys think of this race? I thought it was cool. Track was okay. Passing was kind of hard, but it made the guys have to ride insanely aggressive to pass, which is kind of cool. No, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was really cool seeing Shimoda win. Deegan was gnarly. The Lawrence brothers are human. Sexton's back. I think everybody can agree that just everything is so much better when Roxon is around. But there was one thing that I was thinking about leading into this that I kind of wish I would have made a video about, because it would have made me look a lot cooler if I said this before the races even started. There's one thing that I was really hoping Stewart and Carmichael would talk about, and that's the amount of testing that all these guys other than Jett got on Supercross leading into this race. So these AMA guys, they're Supercross specialists. They're Supercross riders that also race outdoors. The amount of money that's in Supercross compared to outdoors is ridiculous. So these guys spend 75% of their time each year focused on Supercross, not outdoors. They get months of testing and 17 rounds where they're constantly trying to figure out how to make the bike better. And then outdoors, they get like 2 weeks of testing and 11 rounds. So the amount of time that they spend on Supercross is insane compared to outdoors. So going into this race, they all had so much knowledge, different Supercross tracks, on how they developed, on speedway tracks, Daytona, Atlanta, tracks that resemble this one a lot more. They have all that knowledge from this year on these current bikes that Jett doesn't have on a 450. He was on a 250 in Supercross. So, yeah, he's got 250 knowledge, but that doesn't really translate over to a 450. They are very different bikes. I wish that they would have said something about that. I know that they were talking about suspension settings, all that. They were close. And the whole time I was like, talk about how much testing these guys have compared to Jett, which is actually kind of a scary thought because Jett's second moto was so insane. That just means he's going to get better as he figures out how to set his bike up more and more and more for Supercross, or for a Supercross track that breaks down and gets super rough, super rutted, where you want a softer setup, where you have to have a bit of a disadvantage in the whoops or the rhythm sections to gain an advantage into the corners and through the parts of the track that aren't very Supercrossy on different types of layouts. You get what I'm saying? Jett in that first moto, he just threw a Supercross setup on, where all these other guys might have thought, hey, when we went to the speedways, when we went to Atlanta, when we went to Daytona, these 450s worked a lot better with this softer setup. Maybe? Maybe not. Maybe they just got lucky that Jett was super uncomfortable. But second moto, like I said, he looked ridiculous. The only reason that he still looked human in the second moto is because Sexton looked even more ridiculous. And he even said on the podium as soon as he got on his Supercross setup that he started feeling comfortable again. And that's because he had so much time on that setup to perfect it, to feel comfortable on it. Jett didn't. Let me, I'm curious. I can't think of what the next layouts look like. So the next one, honestly, is going to be kind of the same. It's at a speedway, but it's not a lot of Supercross. I can't tell if these are Supercross whoops or like outdoor rollers, but there's not even any rhythm section at all. This one's going to be very, very motocrossy for sure. So that'll be interesting. These guys probably, unless those are Supercross whoops, these guys probably won't go into next week with a very stiff setup. And then LA, if I remember, is pretty Supercrossy. Yeah, LA is, you could just throw that straight into the Supercross series and it would fit just fine. So this will be very interesting to see what kind of setup these guys have. But that was something I wish that they would have maybe talked about a little bit, is that Jett never got 450 time on Supercross this year when all these other guys did. And that's maybe why he looked human. And he didn't win. He didn't even win a moto. Sexton did. Hell yeah. And with these guys being Supercross specialists, that's why you've never seen a perfect Supercross season. In the big bike class, has anybody done it in the little 125, 250 class? I can't think of it. I don't know. But I actually enjoyed that, and now I'm really looking forward to these next 2 rounds. Let me know what you guys think. Did you guys enjoy it as much as I did? Maybe you hated it, and that's fine too. But at least we got to see some nice aggressive racing. And Ty Masterpool is my hero. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. See ya.